The to-do for you for 2023 is to figure out what mindset are you in, and then what do you need to do, who do you need to be, how do you need to show up, what are the rituals and practices you need to start your day with, where do you need to ask for help, where do you need to set boundaries, how do you need to start taking care of yourself, where do you need to add focus, where do you need to drop things off so that you can start up-leveling your mindset. Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started. What is the one thing that's holding you back from dreaming big, from reaching your goals and keeping your commitments to yourself? Well, newsflash, it's you. It's being aware of your current mindset and doing everything you can to up-level it. And that's what we're talking about in this episode. So welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast. So as I was sitting and reflecting on 2022, God has been asking me to do a lot of that in December. He gave me a little cold that happened to hold over for 2 weeks, and really just showing me that hey, you need to slow down because something is available for you here. And so I started with reflecting on my year and thinking about some celebrations and some highlights from 2022, the things I was able to accomplish, the things I was able to learn from, the things I was able to grow from. And one of the things that was so vastly different for me was I had really large periods of time in 2022 where I had endless energy and flow and creativity. I felt like I was super connected and aligned, and it was just overflowing. I was so aligned that the universe would bring me solutions and people and opportunities even before I knew I needed them or had a question. And so I sat and contemplated this, what made the absolute biggest difference for me? First of all, I really doubled down and strengthened my spiritual relationship, and I really relied on that strength and not my own strength. So A Course in Miracles tells us that you have every reason to be anxious, to be worried if you are relying on your own strength. And that's a sure sign that you need to step back, take your hands off the wheel, and ask for guidance. And know that within us and around us is this stream of well-being that's guiding us and opening invisible doors for us, but we have to be open and willing to let go of control and allow ourselves to be led. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is my mindset. I changed my mindset. And so when I started thinking about how did I get from A to B, so where I was to what I was able to do and achieve in 2022, I thought about different stages of my mindset that I've gone through. And so I thought I'd share that with you today so you could become aware of where you're at with your mindset. And so as we're going into this new year, as we're going into 2023, you can start working to upgrade your mindset. Because there's no right or wrong here, black or white. It's all about being a witness of where we're at, stepping back, not being a judge, not judging ourselves or comparing ourselves, and really just seeing, that's interesting. Getting curious and then taking action in the direction that you want to go. So here is what I'm calling my magnetic mindset formula. You start with acceptance and awareness. And that acceptance and awareness builds to belief and action. And belief and action is a great place to be. But an even better place to be is what that builds to. That's embodiment in a fierce flow. And I'm pretty sure that fierce is going to be my word for 2023. I've been sitting with it since I took my daughter and her friends. It was my daughter's 21st birthday, December 16th, and I took my daughter and her friends to a sound bath with a gentleman his name is Kevin, and he is out of the Bend, Oregon area. And there were so many synergies and synchronicities and amazing things that he said. And I really picked up on that word fierce. I'm like, I think I might roll with that. You know, like fierce faith, fierce focus. Anyway, back to the mindset, upgrading our mindset. So let's figure out where you're at. So stage 1 is the conditioned and comfortable mind. This is where you just get on the treadmill of life and you're dealing with things as it comes at you. You're being reactive instead of proactive. You're just trying to get through the day. You're not really making substantial progress. You're not really falling behind, but your energy is really, really zapped, and it's almost like you're just surviving instead of thriving. So I would just say that probably 60% of people are in this conditioned and comfortable mindset, because it could even be a place where you feel like you're doing well or good, but in order to live a happy, fulfilled life, there needs to be some area where we're challenging ourselves, some area for growth. That doesn't mean starting a new $1 million business. That could be up-leveling your relationship with your significant other, doing something with your health, upgrading your spiritual relationship, starting a new hobby. So think about that. That's stage 1. So basically, you're just on the treadmill of life. Get on, get off every day. At the end of the day, you have no energy. You go to sleep, you wake up, you snooze, you do the same thing over and over. You can't wait for the weekend or your next vacation. You're not finding joy in every day. Now, the second level is the accepted and aware mind. So you are still waking up every day and getting on the treadmill of life, but you are aware and you've accepted where you're at. And you know that you need to take action in order to make a change, have a certain growth in your life. And you really, really know that you want to do that. Like you're setting plans to do that. You know that you want to get there. And this is really an area, I talked about it in a previous podcast, where many of us get stuck at. We're stuck over consuming information, and we never actually implement it or integrate it in our life, so things never change. And when we get that same information again, we completely shut our brain off because we say, oh, I already know. I already know the answer. Yeah, you might already have the information and the knowledge, but you're not turning it into wisdom and taking action and implementing it in your life. So that's stage 2, and maybe you're in that stage. And each stage, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's just being aware of where you're at and then getting ready to get inspired and take inspired action in your life. Because life will meet you in the most magical, amazing miracles and blessings and opportunities, and people and things will meet you at your point of action. Always. You can't stay stagnant. Now, the third level, and I was in the third level a lot too in 2022. That's the proactive and actionable mind. This is where you're actually doing what you need to do to push your goals forward. You're not just on the treadmill of life. You have a plan, you're focused, you're taking action, the work is hard, you're getting results, and you're pushing through with your strategy and your plan. And this is a great place to be. This is wonderful. But there's an even better, upgraded mindset place to be. And this mindset is where not only are you being proactive, not only are you taking action, but you're also aligned with spirit. You're also aligned with source. You're also caring for yourself and having the space and capacity to hear those little nudges and that guidance that's available for you to really get to the next level. This is like the holy grail of any mind state. Execution almost feels effortless. You're doing things with ease. Sometimes answers come to you before you even ask the question. And this is where you evolve to a significantly higher mindset because you've forgiven others for the past, you've forgiven yourself for the past, you're focused on your deepest priorities and what's important to you, you're setting healthy boundaries, you're asking for help, you're striving for higher and better. You have fierce faith, fierce focus, fierce fun even, right? And this is when there is just so much flow in your everyday. It's like inner peace. You don't have to rush. You know it's all gonna work out, and it does. And when it doesn't, it still works out because you have a lesson and you have growth. And you're never white knuckling, you're not hustling. That was the mind state that I was in for so much of 2022. At my retreat in Tulum, pretty much the entire time I was there. Sometimes I'm not even sure about the words that came out of my mouth because I was so in flow and just getting the downloads in the moment. And so a tool I want you to think about is I want you to get on the Google and I want you to Google Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let's see, it's the theory of human motivation. And I'm going to share it with you because it's really hard to get to this top tier, this embodied flow state of mind if your needs aren't being met, if you don't have a strong foundation. And this is something that we talk about in Flow Academy. We work through creating capacity in our life, dreaming and figuring out what our deepest priorities are and what we want. We work through creating rituals to keep ourselves healthy. We work through checking our thought process and reframing our thoughts. We work through all these foundational needs in order to build a foundation that you can actually have a platform to leap from. And so the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it starts with physiological needs, so food, water, rest, shelter. And then on top of that is safety needs, so security and safety. So on the very bottom of our foundation is basic needs. And if those needs are not met, it's going to be really hard to up-level your mindset. So the next two sections are psychological needs. So belongingness and love, so intimate, deep relationship, friends. And then on top of that is esteem needs. So having high self-worth and self-love and showing up and working on purpose and having a service heart. And then the very, very top of this need triangle is self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative ideas and activity. And so I love that because I looked that up after I kind of came up with the 4 different levels of mindset. But isn't it so true? Like with the esteem needs, which is right before self-actualization, if we don't actually feel that we're worthy or that we can do it, we're never actually gonna be able to move up the ranks. And when I mean ranks, just like a higher level, up-leveled mindset. If we continually keep telling ourselves I am statements that hold us back, I'm a procrastinator, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, I don't do this, I do this, and all of those things are limiting beliefs, let's start taking off the labels. Let's start proactively working to up-level our mindsets. And if you want to know how to do that, Flow Academy would be a great place. We're not open for enrollment until spring of 2023, but there is a link in the show notes. And Flow Academy is the holistic leadership and life coaching for entrepreneurs, leaders, and aspiring holistic life coaches who really want to take their business, their leadership, their coaching practice to the next level, because good leaders focus on the outside. Great leaders know they need to focus internally to get to the next level. And that's what we focus on in Flow Academy. But anyway, the to-do for you for 2023 is to figure out what mindset are you in, and then what do you need to do? Who do you need to be? How do you need to show up? What are the rituals and practices you need to start your day with? Where do you need to ask for help? Where do you need to set boundaries? How do you need to start taking care of yourself? Where do you need to add focus? Where do you need to drop things off so that you can start up-leveling your mindset? And again, the first mindset is the conditioned, comfortable mind. The second is the accepted and aware mind. The third is the proactive and actionable mind, which again is a really, really good place to be. And the final state that feels so fucking good, it's where you're taking action and you're so in flow and inspired that everything is just happening with so much ease, is the embodied flow state mind. So we move from acceptance and awareness, maybe just by listening to this podcast, to belief and action, to embodiment and fierce flow. So I hope this podcast served you. I hope it is just an amazing way for you to start up-leveling your mindset in 2023. And if this resonated with you or you know someone this could help, please shoot a text to someone, send a link. If you haven't left a review on iTunes lately, a rating and review helps get these messages out to more amazing humans just like you. And know that I am so grateful for you listening to the podcast, and I can't wait to grow together with you in 2023.